Last week, I was in Seattle at a I don't know, dinner, CEO dinner event, and Rick Garviello was speaking at it among some other top executives, Joe Anderson from Caliber. Again, it was, in the Northwest, it was who's who of the mortgage industry. There was a lot of really smart things said from stage, but this was one of my favorite quotes where Rick Garviello said, if you're not doing everything on mobile, you're going to get left in the dust. And I think we know this disruption is happening. I think it's obvious when you see all the commercials for Quicken. Let's face it, the Quicken Rocket Mortgage is the talk of the town. The world's first digital mortgage from G-Rate. Again, talk of the industry. This disruption is happening. When you look at how families are empowered with mobile devices when they go out and look for homes, they've got the MLS in their back pocket, whether it's Trulia, Zillow, Redfin, they have the MLS in their back pocket. So here at Mortgage Coach, by the way, Dan, have you been able to join us yet?
I'm here. You got me?
All right. I can hear you. So I don't know, are you able to follow along with the screen, and have you seen the slides that I'm showing, or are you just calling in?
I'm right with I'm right with you, brother, but I am calling in because we got some technical difficulties, but I got you.
All right. Sounds good. So first of all, just kind of setting the stage around how technology disruption is happening. Any color you want to add to that before we get into the video conversation?
Yeah. I'm keeping tracks on that Rocket Mortgage and same thing with Guaranteed. It's there. We knew it was coming about 2 or 3 years ago, and I think the ones, the few of us that were kind of preparing for it are able to take advantage of it now. And obviously, you're providing content on this on a weekly basis. So, nope, it's here, man.
Right on. Well, here's what we're looking to do. Everybody on this call, we want you to be able to leverage mobile, and we want you to be able to leverage video. And so this call is going to be very tactical and high level. So we want to make sure that every time you're delivering advice to your families, you're putting on a mobile device. Like I said, I'm going to bring Wally back again next week, do a very tactical call on how he's using video, how he's using mobile. Our goal is that you're not only do you have these tools, you're executing around these tools. Before we bring in Dan and go through his playbook, I want to remind everybody about an interview that I did with Kelly Zitlow several months ago. This was one among the top Mortgage Coach interviews last year. So it made top best interviews of 2015. And it was just all about how Kelly Zitlow is leveraging video. When I think of all the different ways that I see mortgage professionals leverage video, I mean, they're obviously creating Mortgage Coach loan option videos. They're telling stories and strategies, and they have these weekly shows. So I put Kelly Zitlow in that category. If you've not checked out her YouTube page, check it out. Great example of a mortgage professional that's an educator and a teacher creating fantastic videos. I also want to showcase the RE source, Ryan Hills and RC. They're doing a great job of creating a video, and what I love about this video is it's really geared towards, yes, loan officers, but loan officers, realtors, and consumers. So they've really taken an ambitious play, and I do think it is the best produced and executed weekly show that I've seen in the industry. If anybody's seen anything better out there, forward it to me. I love it. So let's get into it. So Dan, I don't know if we're going to be able to share your screen or if I'm going to be driving slides. Before I introduce you, am I going to be driving your slides, or are you going to be able to drive slides?
You're going to have to drive them, man. So it's no big deal. Just I'll hit you up when we need to switch. There's not a ton of slides, so just you drive it.
Okay, sounds good. So for those of you who have not heard Dan Keller in the past, I saw Dan speak at Sales Mastery in 2014. He knocked it out of the park. I've interviewed him several times since. The conversation we did, by the way, Dan, this is 2014. We did a call on Video and Mobile Marketing 101. It was among the best. It's been watched over 882 times. And it's amazing how much of what we talked about, 2 years ago it's all coming together. You remember that call?
Yeah, I remember that call, and I remember talking with you when I had a chance to meet you for the first time when I spoke at Mastery right before that. and you and I both agreed that, hey man, this is coming, and there's no better time than now to prepare. And here we are, what, 2-3 years later, and we're still talking about the same thing.
Yeah, right. Although it's
Yep.
the tactics have changed, the strategy is the same, the
Yep.
tactics are different. I do want to mention to everybody, if you look at one of our playlists, we have a video. It's called Video Mastery, and right now we've got about 7 videos that have been tagged and put in there. So for everybody on this call that really wants to crush it with video, we've got a lot of resources in our YouTube page. Just go to the Video Mastery playlist. So today's call really was envisioned backstage in Sales Mastery this year. We were talking, you got a chance to meet with Tom Ferry. Dan was getting ready to go on stage and deliver his presentation on video. And in that backstage conversation, a few conversations since, it was really like, let's redo what we did in 2014, only make it, a lot has changed, a lot is the same.
Mm-hmm.
And so, Dan, first, before you go, why don't you just kind of share what market you're in, tell a little bit about your production levels, and then I'll bring up some slides and we'll walk them through your, call it mortgage video 2.0, since we already did 1.0.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first off, Dave, thanks for having me. One of the things I love most about you is I love your software. The Mortgage Coach, I use that with I do a total cost analysis or rent versus own with every single client, and the fact that I've been able to implement video with that and go mobile here in the last year with that, it's a higher quality video. It's just so much easier to use. So I want to say thank you to you and your crew for providing just an amazing resource for us to use to give me an advantage in the marketplace that I'm in. I mean, I'm up here in Seattle. It's a high-tech environment. There's a couple of bigger local banks that do pretty well up here, and credit unions as well. And it's competitive, so I'm always looking for the advantage, and Mortgage Coach helps with that. Certainly, video has been a big part of that. Video, my ability to leverage the internet with internet marketing, video, and social media. Those are 3 huge components, and Mortgage Coach is right in the middle of this. We'll talk about this in a few. But last year was a transition year for me. Or started off the year early on, transitioning from a company and moving to another bank. I'm with New American Funding. Finished the year strong, just under $42 million. And a lot of that volume, a lot of it has to do with the way that I generate leads, the way that I generate business, and how I leverage video. More specifically, at the end of this year, was just getting beat up. I had an eye-opening experience in September where did everything right, man. I did a TCA, did everything right on this deal. They were perfectly clear who they were shopping me against, and I lost the deal over, in my opinion, it wasn't worth losing, and I just didn't do a good enough job closing. And so I really kind of been infatuated with doing a better job using Mortgage Coach to present value, not just to present loan options, and really to find out their pain up front. I've heard you say it numerous times, Dave, is ask them questions. You've interviewed Wally and the Gaylord Hanson team, which I want to stop right now. If you're listening to this live, obviously keep listening to me. But when you're done with this, earmark Wally's interview with Dave and the Gaylord Hanson team and Kelly Zitlow's as well. Go back and make sure you listen to those, because those resources are huge in regards to tactics and strategies for selling. But I've been putting a lot of focus on that, Dave, lately, on how to use Mortgage Coach to not only just educate and sell, but put me in a position to close a little bit better and close with higher numbers.
Love it, love it. Well, I want to remind everybody those videos really are essential. So just showing everybody how to get to that. You can go to our all-time best videos. Just click on this playlist, and both the videos that were mentioned, this 5 strategies by the Gaylord Hanson team, are in here, and of course Wally's is the newest ad. So make sure you check those out. So Dan, you prepared some slides. We've done some real prep on this call. I'd say more prep than you and I usually do, because we really wanted to net it out for everybody. So I've got your slides pulled up. I assume you can see them. Can you see them?
Got them. Yep. got him.
Good. Oh, actually, let me make sure I've got this working. Hang on. Dan, you still there?
I got you. Yep.
All right. I am trying to get the screen working. Give me 1 second, my friend. What happened here? Can you see the slides?
Yep, I've got why I use video.
All right, so let's get back a little bit. Sorry about that. So I will move them as you want me to move them, and let's get started. Walk us through the presentation you want to provide.
Yeah, so the intro slide is I want to provide some tactics to everybody today where, anytime I do these interviews or speak, at Mastery, I get a ton of messages like, hey, what do you use for your video? What kind of phone do you have? Are you using a selfie stick? How is your audio so clear? So here's the thing. I'm full disclosure, 100% transparent right here. That picture is what I do every single one of my videos on. So what I typically do, let's talk about Mortgage Coach for a minute. I'll do the Mortgage Coach total cost analysis, create it, and then I'll go to my mobile device, hook my iPhone up, and go right in and shoot the video while I've got the TCA in front of me. I plug in the ear set, the headset. There's the selfie stick right there. It's clear. The iPhone or any newer mobile device or smartphone takes really high quality video, and so that's what I use, Dave. So I wanted to kind of just share right off the bat. That's all you need. Sometimes with your laptops, you don't get the quality that you'd like, audio and video. So that's what I use.
Love it. Very simple, guys. I mean, everybody could have that, and the tool of influence is amazing. So let's rock it.
Okay. So the next slide is something that I think, I'm going to try to tell a little bit of story here and get tactical, but I mean, come on. Everybody's heard of Tony Robbins. I follow Tony Robbins on Twitter. When I saw this, I favored it. I liked it. I saved this tweet. And basically, Tony, he was at a conference, Business Mastery, and he tweeted out, business has only two functions, marketing and innovation. And I know, Dave, you agree with this, and you guys are doing exactly this at Mortgage Coach. But as a loan rep, as a loan officer, our number one job is to sell. It doesn't matter, I did a lunch and learn for realtors the other day, and I said, what's your number one job? And they were like, oh, to serve our clients. And there was, 5 or 6 job descriptions that were not the right. They were all great, but they weren't the right answer. If we don't generate leads or generate clients, we don't make money. It doesn't matter. You can't serve a client if you don't have a client. And so you get clients, you meet new clients through marketing and being innovative. And so I wanted to throw this up here. This is what video, and I'm going to share the next slide, Dave. Video is going to help you be innovative in today's market. I've shared this quote. This is from Zig Ziglar from about 20 years ago. And Zig said, in times of change, the learner shall inherit the earth, while the learned will find themselves perfectly equipped to deal with a world that no longer exists. So as a mortgage professional, if you're not leveraging Mortgage Coach, if you're not leveraging video from a marketing standpoint, if you're not using social media, and I said this from stage at Mastery, if you're not using social media to tell your story, you're missing out. I don't have social media to be friends with 1,500 people that quote unquote call me friends. I don't have 1,500 friends. I've got maybe 5 to 10 friends. The 1,500 people that follow me on Facebook, the 1,500 people that are connected to me on Twitter and Instagram, they're following me for a reason. They're not my friend. And so it's our job to share what we do. And if we're not willing to share it, why would somebody else share what we do? So go ahead and hit the next slide. So I want to talk real quick. I want to open with kind of the velocity of video. This is a great quote from a study from Dr. James McQuivey of Forrester Research. He says a minute of video is worth 1.8 million words. And I think that's huge because we've heard a picture is worth what, a million words or whatever. So it's transitioning to a video is worth 1.8 million words. That's how big video is. YouTube's going to state that they're going to see over 1 billion unique visitors to YouTube every single month. 700 YouTube videos are shared on Twitter each minute. So, say what you want about Twitter. If you're not there, you're not there. But it's the same with like Facebook and the way that I'm sharing video and using video as well with email. It's the same thing. I use Bomb, and I'll get into this in a minute, but I track when I send out a video email to realtors and to clients. I track the open rates on those. I get notified, and they're getting opened at a high rate and multiple times. So that means sometimes if I send it to a broker owner of an office, getting opened 30, 40 times. I sent one to the owner of a real estate office the other day, and I tracked it. It was open 63 times in 2 days. So that means he sent that out to agents, and 63 people watched that video in 2 days from one person. So that's big. YouTube accounts for 28% of all Google searches. So you're seeing people go to YouTube for searches. Zoom.com says video is the most shared brand of content on Facebook. And I'm going to prove that here in this presentation. I posted a video the other day. Now, this is on my business page. This is Dan, Dan-Mortgage Advisor, Speaker, Trainer. Look down below where the arrow, 4.3 thousand views, 7,200 people reached. So I did boost this post. I boosted it to, and I spent like maybe $18, $20 on this. But I wanted to get this message out. I had a really quick message on everybody was talking about rates going up. So I did a real quick summary that just because the Fed announces a rate hike doesn't mean mortgage rates are going up. In fact, they went down. And, like I said earlier, if you're not willing to promote yourself, why choose somebody else? This one was shared numerous times. I got great feedback from that. And so let's talk real quickly. I'm going to get back to social in a second. But this one in particular regarding video email. Same thing, same company, Forrester Research found that a 200 to 300% increase in click-through rate when business included video in an email. And if you don't understand what click-through rate is, it's when you subscribe to a company or you get an email from a company, whether or not that person views that as spam, and if they click on that, not only if they open the email, but if they click on any links inside. If it had video, they saw a 200 to 300% increase in clicks. When marketers use the word video in a subject line, open rates nearly double. So tactical information right here. If you're going to send an email to realtors, if you're going to send an email to clients, I always put video in the subject line. I learned that about a year and a half ago, but that's very important. And then Zappos, we all know who Zappos is. They saw an increase of 6% to 30% in sales for their products that had a video intro feature next to the product. So it's pretty important. It's pretty. Those are some pretty convincing stats that video is not only being used on social but in email.
So Dan, let me jump in on this one real quick. So Mortgage Coach members, I hear all the time from our best users that when they put the Mortgage Coach link into an email, it's getting watched 80% of the time. Now I talk to loan officers sometimes that say people aren't clicking on my link. And usually when I, have the conversation with them, what do you say before you send the email to create the expectation so when they get it, they click on it? And then what are you putting in the email so that you're either not undermining the link, you're just doing it just right. So now I've covered this in a lot of calls. I just want to make the statement and the claim that sending a total cost analysis video or whatever you want to call it, mortgage options video, there's a lot of different ways to describe it. At the end of the day, there is a handout that I have put in the handout section that has some scripts on what to say before you send a Mortgage Coach video, how to set it up for the client. I've done so many calls on one of the best practices of doing it. There's not really one call I can kind of showcase. I just want to make the point. I think it is a best practice to call it out as a video, and I also think it's a best practice to make sure that when you talk to the borrower, you properly framed it. So by the way, Dan, before we get to the next slide, how do you frame the Mortgage Coach, call it the email that includes the link, How do you frame that with the buyer before you send it to maximize the fact that, one, they click on it, and two, they see value in it?
Yeah, our good friend Tim Lamb, he's a very very successful mortgage loan originator in Iowa, I believe. He and I kind of masterminded about 2 years ago on putting together the perfect email. And one of the things that I do up front when somebody goes to apply to my application link. They're going to see my mortgage concierge packet. And in that, I explain what separates us, how we present loan options. So they're going to see that on the phone call, so they're going to get notified of that up front. Then when we do have a phone conversation, I'm prepping them that, hey, I want you to keep an eye open for an email from me where I'm going to break down your loan options using some proprietary software that I have access to that explains loan options. Very simple, and I always insert a custom personalized video along with those options. So we're teeing it up that way, but the email is just short and simple. I don't want them reading through a ton. I want to get straight to the point. Personalized loan options report that I mentioned I'd be sending over. Here's the link to your mortgage planning report, and then in parentheses I put that if you're going to view this from a mobile device, you may need to download the free app before viewing, and then I make reference to the personalized video. I'm going to follow up with you within 24 hours to make sure to see if you have any questions. And then I learned this from you, Dave. When you get notified that they clicked on the link, within a few minutes, I'm going to try to follow up with them. If I know it's a client that I've already earned their business, that day I'm going to follow up with them and just say, hey, just want to check in to see if you have any questions on the report that I sent you.
Got it. So I'm going to do something real quick, Dan. Let's get ready for the next slide. I've had a number of people ask for these slides, so I'm going to save them in a folder so that my team can get them posted and available in the handout section. So everybody, stay tuned in the handout section of this call. You will have these slides in a few minutes because I've seen that question come in from a number of folks. So Dan, let's you've got a number of different solutions that you use. Let's kind of go through what those are.
Absolutely. So the first one, obviously, we've been spending some time talking about, which is Mortgage Coach, using video within Mortgage Coach. I think that's obviously why we're all here. We just finished talking about video email. Now, for the most part, everything that I'm going to talk about is free. BombBomb does charge money. It's a very wise investment. But BombBomb.com is basically, it's like MailChimp or any mass email software program, but you can actually embed and send video. It's super mobile friendly, and so I use BombBomb for all my real estate agents. I use BombBomb to communicate with my database. You can create a custom header, and you'll see a screenshot of that in a few minutes. iJot. I started out on iJot. I spoke about iJot in 2013. I've just, in the meantime, I've migrated to BombBomb. So if you're not willing to invest in BombBomb right now, iJot's a great platform. I just don't think you can send mass emails. I can send, through BombBomb, I can send an email out to 300 real estate agents in my database, or however many there is, and customize the email to each one of them, and then they all get a video that's embedded. So iJot is just typical. It's just used for a video message. Something that I'm using a lot right now is iPhone video text message. As a matter of fact, I've been calling on the owner of a very successful real estate office in our area. I have not been able to get through to him successfully in the past probably 3 months. The other day I sent him a video text, and I just said, hey, listen, Chad, I'm reaching out to you. I'm hosting a lunch and learn right down the road from your office. I'd love it if you came by. I'm sharing some strategies that I just got from my buddy Tom Ferry on a pre-listing strategy, and would hope that you'd be able to come by. And he showed up. He showed up with 2 of his agents. So video text is huge. It's working. I send those to clients as well. iPhone video email. Same thing. Coach Bill Hart does this. He's done this to me. I learned this from Coach. He sent me a couple of videos, and basically you're just on your phone, you shoot a video, and you just hit email, and you send it to, and it comes in as an attachment. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just not in the email, which no big deal. It's attached, and you do it. MailChimp, mainly used for email, but you can embed a video. And then what I do for my team, for my loan partners, both my loan partners, I make videos. They're private YouTube videos with a link, and I have them send them out to clients throughout the transaction. Like, this is what to expect. Now that we're in processing, Lori's going to do this, this, and this, kind of the do's and don'ts. So that's always healthy too. So you create a video, host it on YouTube, and use the link to send out to your clients. So the next thing I'm gonna hang tight here on the staying connected because this is huge. But before we get off track, this is something that's not in our slides. This is something that I really wanted to share with all of our viewers, listeners today. But I've got a couple of I read this article the other day and it just hit home. There's 12 reasons why you should be using video in your business, and this is outside of the mortgage and real estate community. Reason number one, online video, and feel free to take notes or replay this, or I can actually post this, Dave. But online video is where your customers are spending their time. We already talked about YouTube. They have over 4 billion views a day. Number two, online videos. Video is already helping your competition. And read this stat right here. According to Market Props, 81% of senior marketing executives now use online video content in their marketing programs. That's up 70% from 2011. So I mean, I think that's a huge stat right there. Online video is searchable. We all know that. It can go viral, has the ability to go viral. Number four, it's shareable. I think that's huge. My videos get shared. I've seen it whether it be on social or in video emails. Online video levels the playing field. Number five, which is huge. It's allowed me to compete with some of the bigger techier mortgage brands that we're seeing. It's allowed me to compete with, as I was starting out in the mortgage industry, compete with top producing loan originators. I'm doing things that they weren't willing or able to do. Number six, online video entertains, educates, and inspires. You can be authentic and they can see you. Number seven, online video allows for real-time feedback and interaction with comments, obviously with social. Online video, number eight, online video is measurable. It's huge. I follow and I measure all my videos. Number nine, online video has a long shelf life. Dave, we're going to talk about this in a minute, but we'll get back to that because you prepared a slide when I hand over the deck back to you. But online video, number nine, has a long shelf life. That's huge. Number 10, online video is one click away from the buy now button. And it's so true. You need to understand that when you're doing a video, we'll get tactical, but when you're doing a video, you got to have a call to action. What do you want your people to do? In lending, I want to be your mortgage lender. I say that in every single one of my videos on Facebook. Listen, I want to be your go-to resource. In mortgage, I want to be your go-to lender. I want to be your mortgage lender, which is equivalent to a buy now button. Number 11, online video is a sales channel. It is. I'm using it to sell mortgages every single day. I'm using it to get referrals from my real estate agents every single day. And the last one, number 12, which is going to transition right into what we're talking about, online video is mobile. I look at all my stats on Facebook from videos that are watched. I look at my stats on BombBomb, and Dave, nearly 58 to 67% are viewed on video.
Yeah.
So, and those are my personal stats.
It's crazy. So, by the way, we'll try to, Dan, could you tell us the name of the article and who the author is, and we'll try to Google it and post it while we're all talking?
Yeah, I'll shoot you the link. The article was YFS Magazine. I'll send you the link.
Okay, send us the link. So before we go back to Dan's slides, I do want to just kind of wrap a bow around this for everybody. So, I've interviewed hundreds of loan officers, dozens who are just the best in the industry at using video. And the types of videos I'm seeing most often, obviously the Mortgage Coach loan options video, updates and strategies. So as Dan goes through this, kind of think to yourself, is that an update or is that a strategy? Or a success story, updates, strategies, success stories, commonly asked questions and answers. So where you're really building up a library of most commonly asked questions. Kelly Zitlow does a lot of that. And then the weekly show. Now, here's another thought, is I don't think everybody should start with the weekly show. I don't think everybody should start with Q&A or even updates or strategies. When you really think of the platforms that are available as a mortgage professional, the Mortgage Coach video is the place to start. And it's also the place that you really, if you're doing it right, Dan, how many videos do you think you create per week or per day or however you measure it? Mortgage Coach videos, that is.
I would say mortgage coach videos, I would say anywhere between probably 3 and 10. I'd say your stats are right. 5 to 10 is pretty darn close.
Yeah, so I've interviewed a lot of top loan officers, and at the round table, one person said, my goal is one a day, 5 a week. So whatever, depending on your loan volume and how many times you even have options, you've got to do that. And then when you think of stories and strategies in Facebook, Dan, how many stories, strategies are you putting in Facebook per month or per week? What's the average?
Yeah, I'm trying to do one a week. With Facebook, I don't want, I'm trying to use a lot of infographics, so using a combination of Instagram and video, so pictures and video. But you're right there, 1 to 2 weekly. I'm doing probably between my personal page and business page, 1 to 2 weekly.
And then what about YouTube? How many are going in there per week or per month, or however you measure it?
I can grow it with yours, 1 to 2, maybe 1 to 2 weekly. A lot of my stuff for real estate agents, I throw over there.
No, are they redundant? Like if you have something that's in Facebook, is it also in YouTube, or are they completely different? Just to net that out.
No, and that's a really good question. I have a real estate agent asked me this the other day at a lunch and learn. So no, here's what I love about kind of these 3 platforms, the YouTube and Facebook in particular. Facebook is social, so people are on Facebook in that minute or in that time period, and they're seeing what's in front of them. Tomorrow it's a brand new day. It's all new content over there. What you posted is a thing of the past. Okay, so Facebook is more short-lived, whereas YouTube's more organic. It can be found. What was the stat that Gary Vayner, or what did Gary Vaynerchuk say the other day, Dave? He said that YouTube's more of a database, an archive, a library, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
The library of,
yeah.
Exactly. So, and then Facebook's much different. It's short, it's smart, it's shareable. And again, if you're not following Gary Vaynerchuk, follow him. He's the godfather of social media. He's doing all of this. He's marketing with video on a daily basis. But no, I mean, I think between the 2 mediums, it's you have to understand that they're totally separate. So my point is with Facebook, no, I'm doing a video from my smartphone and I'm uploading it straight to Facebook and not necessarily uploading that to YouTube. I'm using the information I upload to YouTube, again, is content to be researched, to be found. The Facebook is branding. It's information I want to get out. My number 1 job on Facebook is I'm branding myself. I want everybody to know that I do mortgages and that I know more than any other mortgage professional in my marketplace about mortgages.
So let's let this out, and then let's get back into your slides, Dan. Think about it. If you did 1 mortgage coach video per day, that would be, there's about 220 business days in a year. That's about 220 videos where you really netted it out for a family. You delivered obvious value. You looped in the realtor. And let's face it, that's the other piece. On average, more than 1 person watches the video. Dan, what do you average? How many folks are, when you send a mortgage coach TCA with a link, how many folks do you think are clicking on it, looking at it on average?
Well, to a family, to a borrower, it's getting pulled up numerous times throughout the transaction. So, 13 to 20 times, I guess, I'll get notified, or I'll go in and check the link, the stats on the link. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah. So by the way, with Dan, and by the way, that's probably the highest number I've ever heard. The average within our network is 3. So that's why I divided, if you did 220, that would be 600 plus views. And you just heard Dan, his numbers are much higher than that. Because 1, his videos are incredibly, compelling. And 2, he's pushing them, he's socializing them. But think about that, just with Mortgage Coach, you could get thousands of views of a video that is just an awesome way to deliver advice. So I just wanted to net that out. Go ahead, Dan.
Dave, let me backtrack though. So when I say like 13 to 17 views throughout a transaction, and I learned this strategy from you, and I forget who you had on the call. You may know this, but I constantly update. So when we'll do an initial TCA, and then once they're out shopping for homes and they've identified 1 or 2, or they've identified a home, I'll revise that TCA. I'll keep it live, revise it for that particular home with an escalation of 20 or 30 grand. So that's probably why I'm having a little bit more views, because I leverage. I mean, I refer them back. It's so simple versus having to craft an email every single time they want, payment information on a property, or they get ready to put an offer on a home. So it's not like I have crazy high numbers because I do great videos. That's not necessarily it. I think the open links, they're getting open so much because I'm using it. I'm using it different than maybe other mortgage professionals.
Well, by the way, that was the Gaylord Hanson team when I interviewed them, and they talked about how they're adding a video, and then to your point, they're updating it. I want to remind everybody, you can create these on your own mobile app, on your own phone, and even if you're at your desk, it's just another screen. So we make that super simple for you. So Dan, let's get back to your slides and conclude that keynote. I'm going to pull that back up. So I don't remember if had we gone through this slide yet?
Staying connected. And I'm not going to go over that, but I mean, these are the seven strategies that I use to stay connected with my clients. As you can see, number 5 right in the middle, I use video monthly. I send that out to my database, and it's just there's a call to action. Oftentimes, I'm either hosting an event or rates have dropped, something. I'm giving some type of a call to action in that. So it's definitely involved in my database management program. The next slide is this is a good example of what BombBomb looks like. This is a great example of that's how it looks. When you get the email, you can create the header, you can write, you can put links below. That's just kind of a screenshot of what the intro and the video looks like. We kind of already talked about this, Dave, the next slide, but pushing your videos out to Facebook. The title of this slide is I try to push my database over to Facebook. So if they're on Facebook, I want them to like my page. I want them to follow me over here because of the viral and shareable aspect of obviously social media. This is just a really great example. The next slide is how I'm using Mortgage Coach in my business.
Real quick, I do want to call out, because you do this really well. I mean, of all the Mortgage Coach members, the way you're always staying relevant with the market, and you're always bringing a combination of updates, strategies, and success stories. And then the way you'll use one video. It looks like in this particular case, you uploaded a video from your camera into Facebook, and then you put a link to a Mortgage Coach TCA. So I mean, it's just the trifecta of value. It's timely, it's relevant, and he's giving folks the content, now when they want it, and then of course you're promoting it in a solid way. Real quick, in terms of the Mortgage Coach video, I know this is an example of one of your rent versus own, and what's the most you've ever had a Mortgage Coach video get watched that you promoted online or that you just promoted? What's kind of the top of the mountain for you?
Oh man, I haven't off the top of my head. I don't know that number. I know that this particular one, this rent versus own, this is when we got some new information on the Fannie Mae Home Ready program. So I did basically a rent versus own versus USDA versus FHA analysis. So buying a home at $300,000 or renting for $1,700 a month. I'll go in and check the back end, but I think this one was in the 20s or the 30s. Obviously we get notified when they get opened, but I would say probably 20s or 30s is pretty good if I'm sending it out to 1,500 people. I also send it out, via Twitter as well. But I mean, when you do, can you go back 2 slides, because I think this is important for listeners. So this is a Facebook post. Yeah, this is, since we're talking about social and we're talking about video, here's some nuggets on, and guys, I'm not making this up, I use this, but I also hire social media professionals to help teach me and educate me on how to do this right. And I'm giving you some nuggets that I've paid a lot of money for, but let's break down this post real quick. There's 2 asterisks, drawing attention to more great news for realtors, sellers, and buyers. So whether you're a real estate agent or you own a home or you're thinking about buying a home, there's your audience right there. Watch this, and then I always put 2-minute or short, because people don't want to watch videos. My wife just hired a marketing consultant, and she said, do not produce a video over 2.5 minutes or you're going to lose your audience. So, that's congruent with what I've been taught. So a short 2-minute snapshot of this program if you're thinking about buying a home. And then again, I mean, the big kicker is down at the bottom, just showing them proof of what I'm talking about in the video. Click on the link, and then that's the wow factor. To be honest with you, Dave, they go to the mortgage coach, they see that, they see another video, they see how I present loan options. So that's huge. So I want to kind of go back and talk about the anatomy of that Facebook post too.
No, that was a great best practice share for everybody. Any other things that you want to share, or how are you getting folks to get Mortgage Coach on mobile devices? We believe at Mortgage Coach, and the most success stories we hear are when you get your realtors to download the Mortgage Coach app, and you can get your realtors to go through it. So any scripts or best practices you want to share there?
Yep, absolutely. I tell it's a part of when I meet with new real estate agents. It's a part of when I meet with new clients. Mortgage Coach is a part. I mean, if you go to my application page, like you are in, Mortgage Coach is in my mortgage concierge packet. I mean, this is how we present loan options. This is what to expect. I tell all my real estate agents when I send them the link, if you haven't downloaded the app, download the app so you can see it from your smartphone. You're going to need this when it comes time to writing up an offer for your clients. But it's a conversation I'm having with all new agents and every single new prospect or client.
Well, by the way, I just wanted to call that out. This is an email that Dan wanted to share, and again, this is recorded. So for all you that are saying, "Oh, I want a copy of this," well, we recorded it. Go back to this particular link, and this is a link in an email that Dan sends out. Dan, if you wouldn't mind just framing this for everybody, when do you send this out, so at least everybody knows where this touch point is within your process?
Yep. Every single time I get a referral from an agent, financial planner, business professional, or an online, I generate a lot of online leads. This is what goes out after I make the initial phone call. If there is no phone number, this is what goes out. So this is basically, it's an introduction. It's an introductory email. I always just copy and paste just the needs list right here, but it's actually page 5 of my concierge packet, but I always just put it here for ease of use. But if you go up to the top, we're big real estate powerhouse. I think everybody on the call, if you haven't heard of Ben Kinney, if you're from the Northwest, you've heard of Ben Kinney. Ben Kinney is really big in Keller Williams. I learned this from him. Buying a home isn't easy, but it can be simple. He uses that all the time when talking to sellers or buyers. If it's a seller, selling a home isn't easy, but if you follow my strategies, it's simple. So I took that right from Big Ben, threw it right in here, and I use that. Step 1 is our online application. Step 2, download or take a look at my concierge packet, and then there's the video. They see this video right when they land on that page. There's a series of other videos that I ask them to watch down the road, but those are below the main video and the app.
Yeah, and I'm just kind of thumbing through this so everybody can see it and check it out. Again, it's really nice of you, Dan, to share these best practices. Mm-hmm. Again, just helping educate families and delivering value to our own industry. So I'll go to this next slide, your toolbox. Anything you want to add to that?
Yep. Kind of already talked about it. Smartphone, selfie stick, use your headset for the microphone. I use the iPhone headset. Got to have Mortgage Coach, got to have Bomb. And sorry, there's a typo there. Number 6 instead of 2 should be gut. That's just the biggest thing. There's a loan officer that connected with me in 2013, Daniel Estrada. If you're listening, what's up, buddy? But he's actually with the company that I'm with now. And I can remember a year ago, he was just like, man, I can't do this. So it was a Saturday morning. I shot him a real quick video, and I go, dude, send me a video back. Let's just go. Let's go right now. Let's just do it, man. And now the guy's doing video, and he's doing a great job at it, using it with real estate agents. And so you just got to jump, man. Just do it.
Right on. So, hey, by the way, Chris, we've been getting lots of questions. I mean, I think we have over 22 questions have come in. Chris asked, is there any training available for how to do a Mortgage Coach video? So, Chris, a couple things. Yeah, I would watch that Bill Hart video in the Video Mastery. It's like an 18-minute just how to create an awesome Mortgage Coach video. And then also remember, Chris, there are handouts within either the MC conversation or the training handout that's in our handout section. That's GoToMeeting is the checklist of what a great Mortgage Coach video is. So I did want to lots of training on that. And again, come to our Thursday calls, and we'll do some training on that. We'll also remind you how to get to these resources. And of course, you can always email support@mortgagecoach.com. So we got some bonus stuff here, Dan. So walk us through this slide.
Cool. Bonus, the sales funnel. So kind of bringing it all together for the Mortgage Coach tribe. So, you got to have a website. And ideal in today's market, it needs to be mobile optimized. I had spent a couple grand last summer renovating mine and converting it and making sure that it was mobile optimized. So that's huge. If you don't have an online profile right now on Zillow and Yelp, you need to do so. People are going to those portals to verify who you are, plus the SEO, the search engine optimization aspect of those is big for your marketplace. I've said this before, you need to Google yourself. You need to know when somebody Googles your name with loan officer or mortgage next to it, you need to know what they're finding. It's huge. It's going into battle and knowing who you're facing. I'm a jock, man. I used to play high-level college baseball and semi-pro baseball, and we always prepared. We knew who we were facing going into the next game, and we knew what their strengths and what their weaknesses were. It's the same thing here. You got to know when you go into battle with a client what they're looking at, or when you're going to talk to a real estate professional, you have to understand they're probably going to look you up if they don't know you. Social media, this is an opportunity to own your own content. It's an opportunity to get your message out and brand yourself. I use social media for one reason. I'm not out there to make friends. I'm using it for branding, period. And then I encourage you to make a buyer's guide. I call mine my mortgage planning guide. And I learned this in my second year in about, 2009, 2010, on how to create a mortgage planning guide. And I've just enhanced it over the years. So that's kind of the sales funnel as it relates to, using video and optimizing the use of video. Here's a snapshot, just my website. This is my main page. Those three images down below are blog posts that I've written. They have video embedded in those. The next slide it's simple. It's my mortgage planning guide. It's a 20-page. It's actually a 19-page report on everything from my team to my vision. I got this from one of the coaching calls. We work with families, not files. I think that's the Gaylord Hansen team. It's huge, and you're able to give your vision, your mission, and your approach to attaining a mortgage right here in this packet. If you're shopping for a mortgage, there's two pages on. If you're going to shop for a mortgage, here's how to do it right, because we get shopped a lot up here. It's competitive up here in this marketplace. So I highly encourage you to create something like that. You can certainly see mine if you go to my website and see what mine consists of. And then when you Google yourself, again, know what the clients, the last slide, know what the clients, if you Google Dan Keller Mortgage, this is what they're going to see. I want them to see my site. I want them to see my Yelp page. I want them to see my LinkedIn page, see that I'm connected. And I want them to see my Facebook page. Those are the top 4 sites, and they're right there.
So folks, this has been awesome. I've got a lot of incredible feedback around this call. So thanks for all the questions, everybody. We're up to 25 questions. So if you're on this call and you really resonate, this is Kelly Zitlow's mission. When I asked her, what are you all about? And she said, my mission is to deliver honest, well-communicated, knowledge-based lending experience. If you resonate with that, if that is your mission, make sure you take it to the next level in terms of how you're doing that. I interviewed Dave Ramsey last year, and in that interview, Dave broke down a number of best practices. He really broke down what is it that you want to do as a mortgage professional. And his message, we've got these scripts, and I'm going to break it down in a minute. But at the end of the day, it's about being authentic. It's about keeping it short. It's about being direct and to the point. That is what families want when you create that video. So Mortgage Coach, we are dedicated to helping you do that. If you have not already, gone to our back-end Mortgage Coach app and you know how to add a video from your mobile app, come to our Thursday call, email support, go to our website and say how to create a video. There's a lot of ways you can get this information, but we want to help you create that video no matter where you're at, whether you're out in the field or whether you're sitting at your desk. All the best mortgage professionals are doing this. And again, it's not the first 3 to 5 times you do it, it's not easy. And the first time is extraordinarily painful. But after you've created, somewhere, I don't know, Dan, what do you think? 10 to 20 mortgage coach videos, it gets easier. Would you agree that that's kind of a magic number?
Yeah, it gets easier because you understand, you get the flow. You understand, you got to give a shout out to your agent. You got to explain the purpose of this video is blank, and then just get into it. You're the one that created the report. Get into it and then wrap it up, and it's that simple.
Good. So I am. And by the way, someone asked me to explain something again, and I would just say, hey, we have recorded this, and there are other resources, so I can't go backwards. But I do want to remind you, in this GoToMeeting control panel, there is something that says training handouts, and some of these scripts that I'm showing you right now, they're in there, including this wizard. If you want to know how to create a video, we take you through it. When we did this, it was like, we know McDonald's has these awesome playbooks to teach anybody, high school students, how to do anything. We took the same approach, and within this document, we walk you through how to create a mortgage coach video, how to record it, how to share a mortgage coach. So, we want to help everybody who's a mortgage professional take the way they deliver advice to families to the next level, be able to speak digital. We know disruption is happening, and we know technology is driving it. The 2 critical components are mobile, because that's where we're doing life, that's where we're communicating. We want to help you communicate on mobile, and we know video is a simple and easy way to bring that human experience, you, to your clients. So do want to remind everybody, every single Wednesday at 11 o'clock, we are doing a workshop. So this is literally experiential. We actually ask you to do things. You have your mobile app in one hand, you're going through the presentation and the webinar that we're having, and we're teaching you how to do everything in Mortgage Coach Mobile Land. There's also a video recording of that. So if you can't find it yourself, email support, and we'll forward you a link to the recording of one of those calls. So Dan, we've only got a couple minutes left. As we wrap up today's call, what are some kind of final thoughts that you want to share with everybody?
Yeah. So first off, if you're new to the Mortgage Coach tribe or you just started using Mortgage Coach, don't give up. Log into the coaching calls every single week. That's what I did. Make it a part of your business. The learning curve is going to be extremely quick. The second thing is, man, the interview you did with Wally and the Gaylord Hansa team last year, so phenomenal. I would encourage you to go back, and the same one with Kelly Zitlow. Watch those 3. I can tell you that I've gone to the gym and listened to Wally's interview on replay on YouTube probably the last 6 to 12 times at the gym on the treadmill. I was listening to that. It's such a phenomenal interview. And so leverage that. And then the third thing is, follow me on social media. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Facebook to kind of just see what I'm doing. Just follow me, and I guess if you want to learn or see what people are doing in the trenches, but follow guys like Gary Vaynerchuk, guys like Grant Cardone. Those are guys that I'm following that are just absolute. They're not in our industry, but they're using social, they're using video, and that's my best advice. See what people are doing, see what works, and use it.
Beautiful. So a couple things as we wrap it up. If you could, let us know what you thought of today's call on a scale of wow to good, or if you want to get a demo mortgage coach, you're a guest on this call, let us know that. You can also email support@mortgagecoach.com. I do want to make sure everybody knows how to find some of these videos. So if you go to the Mortgage Coach YouTube page, we have these playlists, as I mentioned earlier in the call. There's a lot of great playlists, but I'm going to focus on the video mastery. And by the way, this video will be in there. And the one that I was telling you about, Bill Hart, the 17-minute one, is right here. Learn how to create an effective mortgage coach video. It's 14 minutes, actually right here, right now. I'm going to go in, I'm going to cut and paste this. Rather than send this via Twitter, I'm going to go ahead and put it in the chat. So everybody on this call, that link is in chat for about 30 seconds. And if you didn't get that, email support@mortgagecoach.com. But my final words are, join our conversation. Every single Tuesday, I'm interviewing someone amazing, whether it's an author, speaker, whether it's one of the top professionals in the industry. That call with Wally was spectacular. So we're coming back next week. Hopefully we'll rock it out again. It will be more tactical. I'm really going to try to pull out some of Wally's scripts, some of his checklist on what he's doing, and make it a little bit more tactical. So hopefully this has been a valuable hour of your time. Dan, thanks so much for the value that you delivered and all the preparation you put into it.
You got it, buddy. Thanks for all the work you guys do over at Mortgage Coach. I appreciate you guys.
All right. Take care, everybody. Have a fantastic week.